Hey guys, I am so glad to be here with you guys. Feels like this is normal, but at the same time I feel like this never feels quite normal to be talking to you from live. But I'm here in my backyard and we got Chase with me this morning. Hello, Lauren. And as we have people jumping on, would love to just hear, what is your favorite place to just retreat outdoors? Hey Lori, hey Jewel. So what is your favorite place to be outdoors during this time? I know for me, I've been spending a lot more time outside. So I would just love to hear ones that are York area, but also just ones that maybe explorations, day trips you've taken, or just maybe even a week trip. Looking to kind of spread my wings a little bit. Hey Amy, hey Terry, good morning guys. I am just glad you guys are here. Any wooded park to hike? That is a good choice. Do you have a favorite, Lori? Favorite wooded park? Carol, I am also a fan of the deck and patio, which is why I am where I am right now. Hey Leanne, hey Danielle. Richard Nixon. Yep, that is actually right down the street from my house, so I also love that one. If you are just jumping on, we're just sharing some of our favorite outdoor places to just retreat to and kind of be with God. And could be someplace in York. Would love just for those afternoon suggestions, and then also any day trips or even week trips that are a little bit further. Oregon Ridge in Maryland. I don't know if I've been there. I will have to check that out. That is a great suggestion. I'm with you though, Lori. Anywhere with trees. We go a lot to Lake Redmond and Lake Williams because it's just my little oasis. Goldsboro Park. I don't think I know that one. Hey Alicia. Mount Gretna. I also haven't explored Mount Gretna at all, so that's one that I should probably check out. Cool. Hey guys, if you are just jumping on, would love to hear your favorite kind of outdoor retreat area. For me, it's anywhere, we've talked a lot about anywhere with trees. I also love any place that has water. Like the lakes are just so refreshing to me. And so if you have any suggestions, whether it's in this area or also just maybe it's a weekend trip. Like Amy just said, Avalon, New Jersey. I have not been to that beach. That is cool. So keep those suggestions coming. While you guys are putting those in, just wanted to share with you some really cool things that are going on in kid ministry right now. And today actually is the start of our online K4 groups. And I'm just really excited about these. It's allowing kids to connect, giving leaders an opportunity to lead and to serve kids in this season, and really just use this as a unique opportunity to reach kids and build community in a different way that we've never done before. And so it's going to be a little bit of trial and error these first couple of days, but just really excited to see what God brings out of it. And then the other thing that God's just that you guys are blowing up is these bucket list events. We have 10 different events already going on. And if you want to just jump on one of those and say, hey, I'm interested in that, I'm going to take and run with it, just let us know, because these are just really cool events to connect with kids outside of church. And I know that that's been a passion for a lot of you and for Lauren and I. And it's just really cool to see that actually kind of coming and really just owned by you guys. You're like, hey, this is why we do what we do, right? We want to love on kids, and it doesn't matter if it's on Sundays or through the week. So there's church bells. there's a church down the street, and they had stopped ringing them during quarantine because they weren't gathering. Well, they've started to gather the last couple weeks, and so I've got to enjoy the church bells, and something that I didn't even know happened until quarantine because I wasn't home on Sundays. But it's been fun to be able to get to know that community, and been able to talk to their pastor, and just really love on our church that's literally right down the street. So yeah, we were talking about bucket list items and just bucket list events, and it's really, really cool just to see how you guys are taking that and running with it, and just excited to see families come together. Like, that's where connections are made. That's where families are going to start to form tribes outside of church, start to connect with you. This is going to mean the world, and I'm just so pumped for them. But also just want to acknowledge, like, while there's a bunch of exciting stuff happening, it's a lot of changes. And it's a lot of changes, and I don't know about you, but it's been, for me, at times, has been even on the overwhelming side of changes. And just want to say, we're all, like, none of us have done this, and I know that you've heard this 1,000 times, but really, those emotions are totally normal and really valid. I'm feeling them. I know other people are feeling them. And if you need somebody to talk through and process, know that I'm here to listen. Know Lauren's here to listen. We really just want you guys to know that we love you, and want you to know that we're here for you no matter what's going on. I know that it's just been like a whirlwind, and so we're here for you guys. And just wanted to share, kind of in that note, a little bit that I've been learning from my Bible study recently, and it comes from Joshua chapters 3 and 4. It is a story of the Israelites who are facing this really giant obstacle. And in a lot of ways, I feel like there's a lot of obstacles that have been thrown at us lately. And just how do we navigate those in a way that honors God? And the Israelites have it's a really, really good example of how to lean on God in the midst of the obstacles. And so just wanted to share a little bit with you guys today of that story, and hopefully a little bit of the hope and the encouragement that I found from it as well. So the Israelites have they've just finished their wandering in the desert. Moses has passed away, and now Joshua is leading them. And they come to the Jordan River, and normally that wouldn't probably be that big of a deal, but during this season it's overflowing. It's during the flood season, and really it's like rapids. It's giant. It will sweep anybody downriver if you get into it during this season, and so there's no way that the Israelites can cross. And if I'm sitting there and I'm Joshua, I'm thinking, okay, do we go up and around? Do we just stay on this side? Like, how, or down and around? Like, how? There's no way that we can get across this. But God chooses not to have them go around the obstacle, but to go through the obstacle. And that alone has been encouraging for me, because it's given me kind of perspective as to, I don't know why this all is happening, and I don't know why God doesn't just take it away. But the answer for myself personally might just be to go through all of it, rather than trying to avoid it or trying to skirt around it. Really just go through and ask God, like, what do you have for me as I walk through this season? And that's kind of what he was doing for the Israelites too. And they were there was no other way except for God to go through this Jordan River. And he tells Moses, hey, take the Ark of the Covenant. So the Ark of the Covenant, it signifies God's presence. And that's where he said, hey, I will meet you in between the cherub wings of the Ark. This is where I'm going to be present for you. This is where you can find me. And so he's saying, I'm going to go out. So he's saying, take the Ark of the Covenant, go out in the middle of the Jordan, and watch what I'm going to do, essentially. And he was just saying, and so they did. The priest took the Ark of the Covenant, so signifying God's presence, right? And the Jordan is stopped upriver. It's stopped upriver. He creates a way, and it says that it was dammed upriver, and then it just continued to flow down into the Jordan, or into the Dead Sea, so that it created dry ground for the Israelites to walk through, like in the Red Sea. And the only people who experienced the Red Sea were by now adults. They were kids at the time, but maybe some of them had a memory of it, but a lot of them didn't. And so God isn't just replicating the Dead Sea, but really speaking to his people, saying, I will make a way. I will make a way, and I will protect you, because there's no other way besides me. And so the Israelites, they walk across the dry ground, this isn't just like a couple dozen Israelites, right? Like even just the warriors alone from the tribes that were on the one side, staying on the one side of the Jordan, on the east side, just their soldiers alone was 40,000 people. And that's crazy. Like, that's a lot of people. And so there was 9 other tribes and their warriors that had to go across as well. So I can't even imagine how many people were crossing. But the priest stayed with the ark, and the ground, it stayed until they left, until they got onto high ground of safety. And that just is such a good picture. Like, God is the first one there, and he's the last one out. And he's going to protect us as we walk through this obstacle together. And that's just so encouraging to me. And after the Israelites do this, I'm really just inspired by the fact that God commanded them to take 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan and to take them and build a memorial. And he did this so that they would remember what God did for them, how he provided for them as they walked through the obstacle. So my challenge for myself and my challenge for you is, one, let's rest in the comfort of knowing that God is with us through this obstacle, no matter what. His presence is here. His presence is very much in the past, in the present, and in the future. And he knows what's going to happen, and he also knows what needs to happen in us. And so the first challenge is, let's just sit in that. Let's just find comfort and hope in knowing that God is with us and in the future. And my second challenge is just, hey, how can you remember? How can you create a system to remember, or maybe just a memorial like the Israelites did, to remember what God has done for us during this season? Because I don't know about you, but he's done a lot of work in my heart during this season, and just really created a change in how I relate to God. And I think maybe I've shared this with you guys before, but just like a more personal, intentional relationship with God during this time. And I don't want to forget that. So how can we learn from the Israelites and maybe create a way to remember this time? Remember how God's been faithful, and that he has provided and cares for us, so that when we face another obstacle down the road, we can look back to this one and say, I don't need to worry. I don't need to be anxious, because God took care of me during that one, and he's going to take care of me now. So I hope that that's encouraging for you. I know it has been for me, just as I've been able to dig into the Word a little bit more during this season. And Alicia, I'm glad that that was helpful. Love you guys. And if you ever just need to process or think through, know that we're here. We don't have all the answers, but know that we're here and that we love you guys. So we will talk to you guys later. Bye. Enjoy. Oh, happy Father's Day. I'm sorry. I meant to say that in the beginning. Happy Father's Day. Before I get off, Jewel, how are we handling transitions from Treasure Cove to the pier during this time? Upgrade info is coming. We are waiting for Central just to give us kind of the timeline for that. Lauren, upgrading in August. Yep. So upgrade like we normally would, and then we will just a couple months late. So same with Student Min, Pier to Student Min as well. If you guys have any other questions, I will talk to you guys later, and you know how to reach us. Love you guys. Bye.